Welcome to the Real Estate Show. From buying to selling and everything in between. Rochester's home for everything real estate. And now, your hosts from the Anthony Butera team of Keller Williams Realty, Greater Rochester. It's Anthony Butera and Jason Mancuso.
Hey guys, welcome to the Real Estate Show. Anthony and Jason are here. Welcome, guys. Hello. I know we wanted to kind of get into like some of the real estate side, like actually being an agent side of real estate, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I found a list of reasons why you should get into being a real estate agent. I kind of wanted to just like go through it and see if this is even real or what you guys thought, or, because I'm sure there's got to be.
I can't wait to hear this. Fire away.
All right. So this is from Freedom Trail Realty School.
All right.
Okay, this is their reasoning. They say to become a real estate agent, they got 11 reasons. The first one is that owning a business gives you freedom. And when you become your real estate, you're your own boss, and you're also a small business owner, so you got all that sweet freedom.
Yeah, I don't want to sound I don't want to be the Grim Reaper today, right? So, but like it's funny in that, like, yes, congrats, you're your own boss, right? And what I have seen, and I think it's the case for most people, is you will work harder for yourself than you would have ever worked for any boss. So if the concept is you have more freedom, I'd say you have less freedom. You're just working for yourself.
I'm curious, do they have on this list, Mark, is like flexible schedule or anything like that mentioned?
Let's see.
Or is this replacing?
Yeah, that's kind of in that's under the reason number one. Owning a business gives you
flexible. So it's kind of like I think it's been debunked enough to where, like, if you have a good business, your schedule is flexible based on how your clients need you to show up or when, right? Not necessarily like, if you want to have a massive business anyway, like, you're going to work for it. It's not like most people can't pull that off with 20 hours a week, right? So it's an interesting spin on it to say that you have more freedom than you do flexible schedule. I feel like that's where they're going with it, because that's been debunked enough over recent years, I feel like. You are like that. To dive into it, like, you are a business owner, right? I think that's overlooked a lot of times when people, want to chase this dream or get into it. And, they kind of forget that part of, like, you're responsible for your business. This is all on you. It's cliche as it gets. You're going to get out of it what you put into it. Sky's the limit with that said. And that can create a lot of freedom for you if you do put in the work and seek financial success to where, this is a business that you can, fund your lifestyle with.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you're, just to think that it's flexible in terms of scheduling or time spent. I mean, it can be, again, you're the business owner. So if you don't want to work hard, you don't have to. You don't have to really report to anybody else, right?
Yeah. But if if your intent is like, I guess it depends what freedom is to everybody, right? So
right.
If freedom is, if you're working for somebody else, most likely you have weeknights and weekends free, right? Like, that's going to change. Right. So I guess it depends what freedom is to you. If freedom is never having to work for anybody else again, like it was for me, then yes, then it provides freedom.
Right.
So it depends on the individual, but I can tell you that, like, the rates are super high as far as agents that don't ever renew their license year two, meaning like they're not going to continue on in its career path. I feel like those numbers are so high based on the intent of those individuals. Like, listen, if you're lazy at your current job, you're probably going to be lazy at your next job. And laziness as a business owner is more dangerous than it is as an employee.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. I got
it. Yeah, it's all on you. So like you're free to dictate, what that means, but stuff isn't handed to you in this business, right?
Yep.
We'll kind of skip reason number 2 because I think you guys touched about it. Just basically reason number 2, your business is scalable, about how you can grow your income just depending on how hard you want to work and whatnot. Reason number 3, it says the real estate market is strong.
That's what it says for getting into the business?
Yeah, that the real estate market it's a strong real estate market.
I love it.
Yeah, so I mean, we talk about this. I talk about this daily, right? Because agents getting in the business right now, I don't think it's ever been more difficult. And I say that because we're in an extreme seller's market. And most of the opportunities that present themselves to brand new agents are buyers. And it's because of the credibility, right? Like when you're new, representing somebody on a purchase, let's just say that it's less risky than having somebody brand new list your house. And I'm not saying that they can't do it, because they definitely can. And I think in some cases they could probably do a better job. With that being said, though, there's trust, there's credibility. If you know somebody's brand new to the business, you are not going to probably put them in charge of the largest sale of your life, right? Like it's a serious matter. So most of the opportunities are buy side opportunities. And in this market, working with buyers is extremely difficult. Getting offers accepted, extremely difficult, right? So, and I get people that I talk to all the time that like know me. They're not in real estate, but everyone likes to talk about real estate. And everyone's opinion is like, wow, dude, you must be killing it right now with this market, huh? And it's like, I guess it depends what you consider killing it. My sellers are killing it, right? For us, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're killing it. It's just, it's a different market. But, any market's going to pose its challenges. I just think right now it's the most challenging to start in real estate because of the difficulty getting offers accepted and the abundance of your opportunities being with buyers. The value of a buyer today is probably less than it's ever been because you're typically writing 5 to 10 offers to get something accepted. So there's a lot of legwork in each transaction.
Yeah. And I mean, not to take away from the importance of buying a home, it's just, I think you can more easily navigate that conversation and process with your inexperience as a new agent in comparison to like more of the, it's more of like a pressure cooker interview type process when you're meeting with a seller, and like they'll be able to see through the inexperience, a lot quicker potentially than working with a buyer.
Yeah.
And I mean, to back to the strong market thing, like, yeah, it's super strong for sellers. So if you've got a lot of listings, like, and you're not working with buyers, then you're loving it right now.
Yeah.
On our end, like we do handle a lot of listings, and with our sellers, like, that's a great aspect. But in general, like, we would like the market to change. Like we're over it. We would rather have more balance than deal with the stuff that we've been dealing with, since this podcast started three years ago, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. I want to kind of combine the next two because I feel like they kind of go hand in hand. But
Sure.
reason number 4, number 5 about why you should become a real estate agent. Number 4 is you don't need a college degree to sell real estate. And then number 5 is you can take real estate classes online.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that was the case for me. No college, and I took it online. Right. So, listen, I mean, I'll say this. I don't think that there's another industry where the ROI on your investment can be more substantial. And I say that because, like, look at $100 for an online course, and you're a licensed real estate agent, right? Like, is not a lot of upfront money, right? Like, and
I tell people $2,000 to get, if you're starting fresh, to walk into the business day one and have business cards made. Yeah. And the bulk of that is joining, this is local to us. So I'm sure it's similar in other markets, but joining the local board of realtors, is over $1,000 for the first year. Mm-hmm. So you're about $2,000 to take the coursework, get some business cards, and walk into the business, hit the ground running. So yeah, it's not a annual tuition, right?
No, and I mean, let's face it, right? I mean, we've got 550 agents here at Keller Williams, and I would probably say that 75% have college degrees in something other than real estate, because there's no college degree for it, right? So, and I'm not saying that like their degrees didn't come into play, right? I could tell you that certain ones didn't, but like, Jason's came into play. Jason's business finance manager. No, but I mean, it did, right?
Look at
have their business degrees and
like no regrets type of thing. Like where I'm at now, I can go both ways. It's like I could say I wouldn't be here with the education background that I have, and the money that cost, versus like, okay, could I, if I devoted the same time and energy without the education, could I be in the same spot? Potentially. I mean, that's the beauty of this business, right?
Yeah, and I think there's a maturity level too, right? So like my mindset at first was like, man, I wish I got into real estate when I was 21. I didn't wait till I was 31. And the reality is, based on my maturity level in my 20s, early 20s especially, if I got into 21, I wouldn't be in this business anymore. I wasn't focused. I wasn't driven. I wasn't thinking long-term anything, right? It was like, I got enough scratch to get me through tomorrow. I'm good, right?
Yeah, no, and I agree. I can speak to the same. Just in terms of like, your 20s are different for most compared to your 30s, right? With that said, like I feel like right now I'm seeing more, young people get into this business without going to college, just fresh out of the gates and have some determination behind them and want to make it happen. So that's that's good. I mean, it's something to take advantage of. I think that's the difference between now in comparison to like what college was with back in our day, right? It's just kind of more automatic than not. I think now a lot of people are kind of questioning that investment more than ever.
Yeah.
And back to your point of like the return on investment, like you take $2,000 and you can parlay it into, your career where you can build a massive business. Like, you're not going to beat that.
Is there like a personality trait or type that you look for like a good real estate agent?
So it's interesting that you say that, because we do disc assessments. We do personality assessments. And when you say, is there a certain one that makes a good agent? I don't know necessarily if good is the word. I can tell you that if you took the most successful agents, if the measurable for success is like number of transactions and sales volume, I think you're going to find that most of those people's are high Ds. And yet I could also say that it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best. I'm an extreme high D. And I can tell you that if I didn't have my supporting cast, like left to my own devices, I'm an absolute mess, right? So like I'm good because I surround myself with people that aren't necessarily just like I am. But I can tell you that high Ds tend to have a higher level of success. And I say this term all of the time. They have an extreme sense of urgency. They do not like waiting. They're extremely impatient, and it's your best friend and it's your Achilles heel, right? Because psychologically, you could do a number on yourself when you don't like waiting for anything and the terms aren't yours. But I will say that high D's for sure. But I also say that
the traits of being driven, being aggressive, being determined, like all that, kind of translates to this business that we're in, because again, you have to go out and get it. It's not just going to come to you.
Yeah.
The business, that is.
But your type A's, like I could say that they could be considered like the best. They're extremely analytical. They process everything. They have to know, they have to cover all their bases at all times, where a high D, sometimes we move really fast, right? And we forget the details, and we'll have blind spots in our pursuit of moving everything forward. So again, and you'll find that your strengths are also your weaknesses, right?
Yep. And very rarely does somebody have like a perfect combination or a perfect balance.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's just knowing the confines to stay in terms of how to operate to be successful, and taking advantage of your strong suits and trying to improve the weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're kind of skipping around here, but I want to do this. I know we got limited time. I want to do this last one to see your opinion on it, of why you should get into real estate. And this says, it's the last one: selling real estate is fun. It's fun to sell real estate.
It is.
So it is. Yeah. I would say that it is. I wouldn't I would not change anything. Right. So, and I feel extremely confident that with my lack of education, like I barely squeaked out of high school. And I'm serious when I say that. There wasn't a summer I wasn't in summer school, and I didn't mind it because I loved the social aspect and meeting more people. But I can tell you that I don't wake up like dreading any day. I was swinging a hammer 10 years ago, and I had nights off. I never thought about work once I left a job site. I always had weekends, right? And I can tell you that work days were not fun. Sundays were ruined because all I would consume myself with on Sundays was, oh God, tomorrow I got to get back to that shitty job site and it's 5 degrees out, or it's 100 degrees out, right? So now, don't get me wrong, I have more stresses than I've ever had in my life, and yet I would still not change anything. But it kind of goes back to, you'll never know how hard you are capable of working until you work for yourself. It's human nature. You will let somebody else down before you will you'll let yourself down before you let somebody else down. So it's that added pressure, right? It's the man in the mirror, and you can't blame. Some do, but realistically, you can't blame your lack of success on anyone else. And that plays into the dropout rates being as high as they are. It's all on you. If you can't turn it on, you're going to be in trouble. If you got into it because you don't feel like working, you're not going to be working long in this, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the elements that go with this, quote unquote job, like, I think if you're getting into it, you probably find them to be fun, whatever you want to call it, right? Like getting in and out of homes and showing homes, and it's fun, it's cool. It's like, it's I don't know. I think most that are in it see that as fun compared to being at a desk job or on a construction site, as you said. The thrills of the wins when you get your client's offer accepted is great. Like, just that satisfaction, when they get to the closing table and they're moving in, and like you helped somebody or their family, with the biggest purchase of their lives, and life-changing stuff on the other end that you're having an impact on, is a great feeling. And that's what I think, that's what keeps people in the game too. for as much agony as there is in defeat or frustration that there is, or, pain that there can be with being your own business owner, like the success of the business keeps you going, keeps you motivated, and wants you to, it's something that you acquire a thirst for. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's certainly like days when it's not fun, or there's situations that are not fun at all. But I think people that see success in it, like they truly enjoy the business that they're building. Otherwise, I mean, frankly, like there's enough stress in this business to where if you're not enjoying it, or at least enjoying the wins, it's not worth it. Like it's just, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's certainly people that have big businesses and are making a ton of money and they just suck it up and get through it. But I don't know, we preach quality of life here. And like, if that's not met, then what's the point?
Yeah. If you don't enjoy the process, you're never going to like it. Right. Because it's tough. So honestly, like, I used to think that I did good in real estate because like I'm talented or I'm a good salesperson. You'd always try to find like, okay, why am I good? And like the bigger the business gets, and Jason could give his opinion. Now I feel like my talent is an extreme bandwidth for problems, right? So like I get calls every day from an agent who's like, they're stuck in neutral. They can't get through any issues. And like, I'm talking to them and I've got 500 issues going on and I'm figuring it out. I'm making my way through. So when you get a phone call about something so small that's debilitating to these agents, like part of me wants to go, oh my God, I wish this was my problem today, right? Like this is nothing. And yet like you also have to be empathetic because to them, it's a big deal. So my point is an extreme bandwidth for drama and issues and problem solving. I feel like that's the real talent. But if you don't enjoy problem solving, then you're probably not going to enjoy this industry.
Yeah, no, you will be screwed because that's, whether it's you're playing a therapist
yeah.
or, like solving some, playing attorney in a way. It's there. And if that stresses you out to where it's no longer fun or enjoyable or worth the money or worth the career, then yeah, it's not going to work and you will burn out. Mm-hmm. So yeah. And just like, I think the overall pursuit of what you're trying to build, like that has to be enjoyable, like, cause it's tough.
Yeah.
You can quickly become miserable in that. So, if it's not, then yeah, if you're listening to this and in that boat, like kind of look in the mirror time, right?
Yeah. And like the other piece I want to add is that if you don't go into it knowing that most of your efforts are going to go unpaid, you will fizzle out really fast. I say this all the time. 90% of our activities are volunteer work. We make a living off the other 10%, right? Your 10% just has to be more than somebody else's. And that's really where it's at. I mean, listen, showing a buyer 50 houses or working with them for 3-4 years and finally getting them to write an offer and the deal dying a week before closing and they fall off the face of the earth, like that shit happens on a regular basis. So if you don't have amnesia, you're going to be in trouble. And listen, this isn't like, I don't want to sound like pessimistic. To me, this is the best industry that anyone could ever get into. That's my opinion, right? But you see the fallout from the agents that get in for the wrong reasons. Like it's not like HGTV and it's nothing like that. I promise you.
Yeah. And no. It's you can literally build a massive business. Like there are, multiple times 1,000 load, millionaires in this business.
Yeah.
So it can be as big as you want it. It can also be something we have people that work full time and, have a full-time family life and supplement their income to the tune of 20, 30,000 a year with, not full-time worth of work. And that can be life-changing too. So you can, if you set your plan, you can go out and achieve it. I think that's, kind of to wrap it up, like having clarity around your goals of why you're getting into the business is really important. And don't just, don't get into it winging it, I guess.
Yeah, and don't get into it for the money, because if it's only about the money, you'll never enjoy it. And it was for me. And those years were painful. It was my only focus was on the money associated with it. And I say this all the time, and it sounds kind of corny, but like the moment I stopped focusing on the money started focusing on me more, right? It became about the relationships, and it became about doing the right thing at all costs. And it was easier for me to take that tone after I already found success and I had confidence, right? Because it's tough early on, like surviving. It's like, shit, if I don't sell these people something in the next week, I don't know how I'm going to pay my next mortgage, right? Like if you have that, we kind of call it like commission breath, you're going to get in trouble because you're going to put your clients into a scenario that maybe is more advantageous for you than it is for them. And I say it all the time. I get more referrals from people I talked out of houses than ones I talked into houses.
It's transactional versus relationship based or relational, right? It's if you're worried about your transaction on your end as an agent, then it's not going to translate well. And it may even work for that individual instance. It's probably not going to lead to a client for life, somebody that really trusts you moving forward. If it's all about your focus being a relationship with that person, and that the goal is that, 40 years from now, their grandkids are calling you to buy a home, you'll execute that over time. And if that's the mission. So, that's important. Don't think about the paycheck, think about the relationship with each person that you have. So,
All right, guys. You can check out AnthonyButeroTeam.com. Follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube as well, and Facebook and all that good stuff. All right. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Cool, guys. See ya.
Thanks for listening to The Real Estate Show. Find us on Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. If you're looking to sell or buy, talk to the Anthony Butera team of Keller Williams Realty, Greater Rochester. Visit AnthonyButeroTeam.com.